Welcome to the 2019 F1 German Grand Prix race day review. And Simon Lazenby and Paul Dereste, you've both got your wish. Max Verstappen has won. Congratulations to Max Verstappen. Congratulations to Christian Horner. The whole Red Bull team. Today, your strategy was perfect. And you know what? It was well deserved. He never made no mistakes at all, Max Verstappen, for the whole of the race. He never made no mistakes. The pit team, the strategy team, the engineers, everything was perfect. Now, I can't say much about Mercedes. Now, Mercedes, where can I start? How about not putting Lewis Hamilton on the soft tyres when really he should have been on the inters? There's one. Two, how about when he's coming into the pits, they're actually ready with the tyres? Yeah. The only thing that had ready for Lewis Hamilton was his nose. The nose of the car. But his tyres, no, that wasn't ready. You had one guy coming out in and out of the pits, bringing the soft tyres out. No, actually it was the inters at the time. But before, it was the soft tyres. In my opinion, that's what cost Lewis Hamilton the race. If they would have just waited a little bit longer, stuck the inters on, he would have been perfect. But no, they rushed it. They panicked. They put the soft tyres on. And that's what cost him the race today. And the fact that Lewis Hamilton, when he went off on the on turn one, the last turn in on Hockenheim, he crashed his car. He went over to the pit. He cut the pit when he was going into the pit. Obviously, he was probably panicking at the time. He just tried to. All he tried to do is get his car back to the pit so they could service his car. And then they gave him a 5-second time penalty. And I thought, forget it. His race is over. His race is over. I thought Valtteri Bottas is going to gain points on him. And the race is over. And it's going to be either between between Lewis Hamilton, Bottas for the championship. I thought this was going to give Bottas an extra boost. But as I go on through my review, you know that's not what happened. So, I'm going to go through my notes. I've got plenty of the notes. It was a good race. I've got to admit, it was an exciting race from the beginning to the end. Who would ever thought that Daniel Fiat would ever get on the podium? Who would ever thought after starting plumb last, that Sebastian Vettel would finish second? Now for me, my driver of the day on Sky, their driver of the day was Max Verstappen. I don't really give a shit what they think. But in my opinion, my driver of the day was Sebastian Vettel. This guy, since last year, it's going to be a year in September. This guy hasn't won a race. 1 year. And it's approaching 1 year. We are now in July. 2 months away. 10 months he has not won a race. Since Germany last year, he's had bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. That incident in Hockenheim, the race he should have won last year, that was his race. But the dumbass engineers from Ferrari, who should be working at Tesco, pumping gas, told him, nah, it's all right, Vettel. Carry on a bit. You can go a bit faster. It's okay. Don't worry about the rain. You can go a bit faster. And then what happened? Vettel put his car into the wall. Since then, he's had bad luck after bad luck. Me, as you can see, I'm a Mercedes fan. But I did feel sorry for Sebastian Vettel. But today, that has got to be one of the greatest comebacks since 1993 in F1 history. One Montoya done that in 1993. Plumb last, ended up finished second. And that's what Vettel did today. Well deserved. And in my opinion, this guy, Sebastian Vettel, is my driver of the day. I should have seen his face on the podium, man. He was so happy, unbelievable. So happy. I was happy for him. Vettel, great driver. To me, still the second best driver on the grid, in my opinion. Sebastian Vettel. Not Max Verstappen. Not Daniel Ricciardo. Not Bottas. To me, I don't care where he's in the table. It doesn't matter if he's not second. It don't matter. Right? To me, the second best driver on the grid is Sebastian Vettel. And if Sebastian Vettel was at Mercedes in Bottas' position, the points would be a lot closer than 40 points now. Now, there's something going on with Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso, they're supposed to have had some information during the safety car from their engineers that was illegal. It wasn't legal at all. Now, if this happens, the two Toro Rosso drivers are going to drop positions, and Hamilton will be in the points, so maybe Hamilton's going to gain a point. At the moment, Hamilton is 39 points ahead of Bottas, but if he gets his point today, he's going to be 40. So, for me, at the two Mercedes drivers, the one, when they go to bed tonight, is going to be the happiest. For me, it's going to be Lewis Hamilton. Bottas had this in the bag, but he was chasing Lance Stroll. For some reason, he just couldn't pass Lance Stroll. Maybe that's got something to do. The DRS wasn't activated. He was just slipstreaming him. But Lance Stroll, hats off to Lance Stroll, he was keeping Bottas off him. He was blocking Bottas off, and Bottas just couldn't pass Lance Stroll. Bottas got a bit frustrated. Boom, you know what happened. But anyway, this was Valtteri Bottas' time. He could have been at least 7 to 8 points behind Lewis Hamilton, but you know what happened. I'm going to get into the review right now. So for me today, it was a great race. But who would ever thought, Lewis Hamilton pitting 6 times? That got to be a record. It's got to be a record. 6 times pitting. Unbelievable. So, we're going to get the race review started. I got loads of notes. I'm just going to try and get through them quick. The video might run after 30 minutes. I don't know. It might do with all these notes I got here. So, the race started wet. Before the race started, the engineers, the drivers of the team was thinking they weren't sure if they was going to put intermediates on or full wets. So they all went with full wets, which to me was probably a good decision. I don't know, for me I probably went with inters because of the full wets that was about 3 or 4 laps into it, and then they all ran into the inters. They all went into the pits for inters. So for me, if I was Hamilton, in my opinion, I would have stayed at inters because after 3 or 4 laps, everybody was pitting in for inters anyway. So, but you never just started on full wet tyres. There was 3 formation laps. Hamilton coming on the mic, he was saying, "Come on, what's going on? It's race worthy. Let's start this race." Max Verstappen was coming on the mic, and to his engineer, to his team, whatever, and he was saying, "Come on, let's get on with this race." At the beginning, it was raining, but certain parts of the track, it's a bit deceiving watching it on TV. When you see it on TV, it seems like some parts of the track were wet, and some parts of the track were dry. Bit similar to like last year, but so the race went going, yeah. So as soon as the race starts, Vettel made up 6 places in the first lap. So Vettel was at the back, and he made up 6 places in the first lap. So I thought, here we go. This is the charge. This is the German charge. He's coming for you. So I was really happy for Vettel there. Like I said yesterday in qualifying, didn't have a good day. He ain't had a good year. Forget having a good. He didn't have a good day yesterday. All season he's been terrible. All terrible this season for Vettel. But anyway, he makes up 6 places, and I thought fair play to him. He's coming in. Lap 3. The first casualty of the day. Perez. Perez spins off lap 3, safety car, boom, comes out. Vettel puts the intermediates on. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the review. In my opinion, instead of putting the full wet tyres on, I would have went with the intermediates because, like I said, you had the safety car 3 laps. As soon as the race started, 3 laps in, boom, everybody picked for the intermediate. So you know where I'm coming from. Intermediates, for me, was the best choice to start the race. So you had Perez spins off, lap 3, safety car comes in, Vettel pits, puts the intermediate tyres, Hamilton pits, puts the intermediate tyres, and so on, so on. Bottas done the same, double stack Bottas. So you had Hamilton coming first, put the inters on, straight away Bottas come after, they've done the double stack, perfect pit. There was a little bit of delay for Bottas because he had to wait for Lance Stroll to go past, one of the other guys to go past. So we got kind of caught up. Only lasted about a second, but he put the inters on. Right? So everything was going, yeah? Now, as in the pit during these, when everybody was pitting, I think it was Grosjean was coming out of the pits. But Charles Leclerc got in the way as he was driving past after his pit. So there was a kind of an issue. It was unsafe release. That's what they was calling it. So the stewards were looking at this incident, and basically Charles Leclerc was under investigation for unsafe release. Charles was struggling in the rain. For me, I said yesterday in my review, I think Ferrari's cars not really good in the rain. They showed that in the past, in my opinion. I don't think they're good in the rain. So Charles Leclerc was pushing the car, but you could see around some of the sectors, he was struggling. So as it went on now, Magnussen pits lap 9, tyres 2.9 seconds. Bottas pits again. Now, Bottas after lap 10 set the fastest lap. So he was trying to gain time on Hamilton because Hamilton was in at the front, right? So at the beginning of the race, like I forgot to tell you, Hamilton got the best start and Max Verstappen dropped 3 places. But as the race went on, Max made up them places very fast. He was talking about his car. He just wouldn't move. He was like, he kind of wheel spinned and it kind of went into like anti-stall mode. So we're on lap 9 now. Everybody's pitting now. Hamilton, straight after Bottas, set fastest lap. Hamilton sets 3 fastest laps. That was basically a message to Bottas. He's saying to Bottas, yeah, you want to try and outpick me? You want to try and outdo me? I'll outdo you 3 times over. Because that, in my opinion, that's what was happening. Because Bottas set the fastest lap, and straight after, Hamilton set 3 fastest lap. Hamilton was just in the head, perfect. Everything was going smoothly for now. Lap 13, Max was stuck in dirty air, and he was kind of struggling with his handling of his car. And lap 14, lap 15, Ricciardo, engine failure. Engine failure for Ricciardo. This is like last year again. This is like Red Bull all over again. Ricciardo, he's got the worst luck. We all know this. If you follow F1, if you follow my channel and you watch all my videos, you've seen it. Especially last year. The amount of videos I've done on Daniel Ricciardo saying that he's had bad luck after bad luck. In my opinion, at the beginning of the season, I thought he made the right decision going to Renault. But now, I don't think so. I just think he should have stayed at Red Bull. Because Red Bull are going up and Renault are going down. And engine failure. They were saying on there it was the old engine. Renault wanted to use the old engine just for the last time for one more race. So when they come into Hungary, they'll have a better chance of finishing a higher position. So, but it didn't work out for him because Daniel Ricciardo's engine just blew out. Lap 15, done one, gone. Now, lap 16, this is when I thought Charles Leclerc was gaining ground on all of them. Lap 16, he picked in, puts fresh inters on, perfect. Now then, when Charles Leclerc pitted on lap 16, had the fresh inter tyres, I was thinking to myself, maybe Mercedes should try and make a little pit now. But they never. They kept Hamilton out there. Hamilton said he was struggling with his tyres. They still kept him out there. So, Carlos slips off the track at lap 19. Doesn't crash his car. Carlos Sainz. He regains grip to his car. Comes back on the track. Happy for McLaren there. Lap 23. Soft tyres. Magnussen. I've got to admit, when Magnussen pitted on lap 23, I was thinking to myself, you know what? It's a gamble. You got nothing to lose. If you put the soft tyres and you mess up, your job's probably gone. But if it pays off, you're gonna probably keep your job. So it was kind of a 50-50 kind of, he's thinking about it. So he picked in, puts the soft tyres on. Bold move, but does it pay off? We'll see. Lap 24, Vettel pits. Does the same thing as Magnussen. Gambles, puts the soft tyres on. Now, Vettel's got nothing to lose. He started from the back. All right, he's made up 6 positions. The kind of floor was kind of drying up a bit. He gambled, put the soft tyres on. Worked out for him as well. Lap 25, Kubica pits, Max pits, puts the medium tyres on. So I was thinking, medium tyres? I wasn't expecting to see medium tyres. But he pitted anyway. Radio to Bottas. Push. Soon as Max pits on lap 26, Mercedes engineers come on the radio and he says to Bottas, push, push, push. because Max was pushing so Bottas. Max pits, so Bottas has got to do it nice, do flying lap, so we can do him on the undercut. We'll see what happens after. Lap 26, Stroll, Lando and Fiat all pits, put the soft tyres on. Lap 27, Bottas pits, puts the medium tyres on. Max does a spinner Rooney during the race. Now, when I saw Max spin, I thought, here we go, his car's gone. He does a spinner Rooney, no damage to the car, basic car spins. I'll just call it a spinner Rooney. He does a little spin on the soft tyres. He's saying to his engineer, why'd you put on the soft tyres on? But there you go. As the race goes on, you'll see what happens. Norris retires at lap 27, engine blowout. Lando Norris, great season. He's had a great season for his debut season. Just signed a new contract with McLaren. He's going to be there, guaranteed a seat for him next year. Him and Lance Stroll, engine blowout. So, the last 3 or 4 races, McLaren has been doing well, gaining momentum, moving up the table in the constructors. Now, all of a sudden now, he gets a retirement. So, for Lando Norris, it was his first race for Formula 1 in the wet, and he was really looking forward to it. He was talking about it before in the paddock. He was talking to all the Sky commentators. He was saying, you know what? I'm really looking forward to this race. First race in the wet for Formula 1. And it never worked out for him. Engine blowout. Not his fault. Whoever designed the engine or whatever happened, it's their fault. Lando, all he did is drive the car. He done his best, but the engine blew out. So I'm sorry for him. Retirement lap 27. Stroll went off as well. Still regained. Didn't damage his car, Stroll. He went off the track a little bit, spinned off, but he came back on it. Lost a few positions. Now, this is where it will start to get interesting. Lap 28, Charles pits, soft car. This was during the virtual safety car, because when Norris retired, his engine blowout, they had a virtual safety car. So basically, Charles comes in, pits, soft tyres, virtual safety car, and Hamilton, lap 29, pits during the safety car. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting. When Hamilton pits on lap 29, the virtual safety car was out. Now, he puts the soft tyres on. Now, to me, this is where it was all started to get go wrong for Lewis Hamilton. They should have put the inters on. And I know they know that now. I know when they go in the briefing room tonight, they're going to be on it. They're going to say, look, we should have put the inters on, Lewis. Lewis says he was thinking in his head that they should have put the inters on. There's no point of thinking in your head, pal, Lewis. If you feel like you want to put the inters on, you tell the engineers, the pit team, the strategy team to put the inters on. This goes back to my point before. The guys in the back don't know how it feels to drive the car. Only the driver knows. So Lewis, he said, oh, I had a little feeling that I should have put inters on. So tell them then, and they would have got the inters ready for you. If you don't feel like the soft tyres are good enough, put the inters on. So in my opinion, that was Lewis's fault. I don't care if it's not popular. I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. I'm a Mercedes fan. But like I told you before, I'm fair. And in my opinion, Lewis Hamilton, that was his fault. It was his fault. He was driving the car. If he knew in his heart that the soft tyres was the wrong choice, you tell him to put the inters on. That's it. They're not driving the car. You are. So virtually, as Lewis Hamilton's in the pits, puts the soft tyres on, the virtual safety car ends while he's in the pits. And all of a sudden now, you got the dumbass Ferrari team, which I probably saying to Charles, go push now. You can try and take Hamilton over or game position because the safety car's ended. He's still in the pits. You're going to try and pass him. So what happened? As soon as Charles gets to the end, the last straight, the end turning, boom, he shanks his car. Straight into the corner, shanks his car. Just like last year with Vettel when I was going, Vettel, you're in front, go and push. What happened? He pushed and he shanked his car. He shanked his car straight into the barrier, slipped, boom, out the race. There's Charles Leclerc out of the race. And there we go. Safety car comes out again. So this is probably the third safety car of the race. And we're only 29 laps in. So basically, Hamilton 29, pits, virtual safety car ends, comes out, Ferrari strategy, told him to push 33 seconds behind, and he crashes. There you go. Lap 31, Hamilton crashes. So here we go. So them soft tyres that they put on the car, it never worked out, did it? So you can't blame the engineers, Hamilton. You can't blame the pit team, Hamilton. You got to blame yourself. Because if I was driving a car, I'm not a racer. I just do this because I enjoy it. Don't make no money out of it. I just enjoy it. I just love F1. And I like venting my anger. Right? And venting my opinion. And if I was driving a car and it was wet, and I knew if I put the soft tyres on, if I actually had a little feeling in my head, thinking, you know what, if I put the soft tyres on, I'm going to be skating on ice. It's going to be like driving on ice. I would have said, no. Tell the pit team, tell the strategy team, get the inters ready, not soft. Don't look at the other teams, what they're doing. That's them. But if you feel like your car is not ready to put the soft tyres on, you should have told them. Now, you can't hear, must feel. Hamilton, that's an old saying. You can't hear, must feel. So that's what happens. So lap 31, you come out, boom, mash up your nose, crash your nose up, cut the pits to try and come into the pits. You expect the engineers to have your tyres ready, and they didn't even know he was going to crash. The guy standing there with the nose in the pit, man, unbelievable. The guy standing there with the nose, that's possibly the hardest part to put on. He's standing there with the nose, man, ready to put the nose on. You got one guy coming in and out trying to grab the tyres, don't know which tyres to put on. Unbelievable. So you can't blame the pit team, Hamilton. You can't blame them. I'm not saying you're actually going out and blaming them, but if you do, you can't, because you knew in your heart that the soft tyres was the wrong choice, but you didn't say nothing. Now, if you would have told them with the inters, they would have got the inters ready for you. They were easy. You would have just got the inters, say, yeah, go on, Hamilton, you can have the inters. But you never said nothing. You never opened your mouth. You let them put the soft tyres on, and then 2 laps later, you crash your car in the same place where Charles crashed his car. In the same place, just next door, right there on the side in the corner. Last corner before the beginning of the race, of the first straight. And now you crash your car, new nose, pit team not ready, 5-second time penalty, your race is done. All over, mate, all over. Moving on, lap 41. This is who I felt sorry for as well. Hockenberg. This guy has never ever been on the podium. He's been racing for 10 years, and Nico Hockenberg has never ever finished on the podium. What more can this guy go through? I know he's in the dumbass team of Renault at the moment, but he was up there. He was there for the podium. Top 3 it was. He was there. If not podium, we could have got 4th. So, Hockenberg, lap 41, crashed his car, another safety car. So this is probably the 4th or 5th safety car today. Now, this is where Stroll, and this is where Racing Point, Force India, this is where Racing Point showed a bit of magic. They went all in. All in. They thought, right, we're on lap 45. We're at the back anyway. We ain't going to get any points. So what we're going to do, we can either put the inters on, we're going to put the soft tyres on. Nobody's pitted yet. Everybody's due for a pit. So you probably got Otmar in the back chilling, thinking to himself, what we're going to do, what we're going to do. They went all in. They put everything on the poker table. They got all the money and they went all in. We're going to pit Lance Stroll, and lap 45, we're going to gamble. If we shank the car, we're not getting any points anyway, but if it pays off, we're going to get points. They gamble, soft tyres, they come in, and it paid off. Lap 47, Max puts the soft tyres on. So basically, Lance Stroll pitted 2 laps before the leader. So like I said, everybody was due for a pit, but Force India, or Racing Point, went in first. Lap 47, Max puts the soft tyres. Hamilton stayed out. Now, this was only one opportunity for Hamilton to salvage the race. He was on the intermediate tyres. Lap 48, when all Max and that started pitting in, putting their soft tyres on, Hamilton was on the Inters. Hamilton was only, 15 laps to go? And he went into the pits. Now, if it was me, I would have stayed out, burnt them tyres out, and even if I would have finished in the top 8, you're still going to get points. But if you go pit, like he did, and come back out, you're going to be at the back. And that's exactly what they did. Another bad strategy call for Mercedes. A very rare strategy call. Bad strategy call for Mercedes. He should have stayed out, used the Inters, and just, it doesn't matter if he would have finished 6th or 7th. At least he would have got points. At least he would have got points. But he never. He went in, pitted, and then when he came back at the pits, he was at the back. So he didn't really work out, did it? Lap 53, Hamilton struggles for grip on the first corner. There you go. Struggling for grip. Lap 54, pitting, he pits again. Now, lap 55, Gunther Steiner must have been pulling his hair out of his head. He had Haas, good team, showed a lot of promise at the beginning of the season. People said at the beginning of the season that maybe there was going to be the top of the middle table, but it hasn't worked out for them. The last race in Silverstone, Haas, Magnussen, Roman Grosjean, both didn't finish at Silverstone. Both retirements, both out of the race. Gunther Steiner was going mental. He must have grew at least 20 grey hairs in his head of stress. Now they've come into this Grand Prix, German Grand Prix, and what did they do at lap 55? They both clashed into each other. They nearly take each other out of the race. Teammates. Now, in my opinion, I don't think any of these two guys are going to be there at the end of the season. Not in my opinion. I think they're both out. I think they're going to bring some new blood in. Or if they do take someone out, it's going to be Roman Grosjean. I think they might, for me, Roman Grosjean he's too clumsy, and Magnussen is just a reckless renegade. It's like you can talk to Magnussen, but he ain't listening. So for me, in my opinion, I'd get rid of them both of them. So lap 57. For me, lap 57. This is where, in my opinion, Valtteri Bottas' race and season ended. If Valtteri Bottas would have come second or third in this race, he would have been 8 or 9 points behind Lewis Hamilton. Game on. Game on for the season. But what did he do? Lap 57, been trying to catch Lance Stroll, Lance Stroll in racing points. No disrespect to racing points, but it ain't a Mercedes, is it? You had Bottas chasing Lance Stroll. Hats off to Lance Stroll. For 4 laps trying to pass him, coming close but still couldn't do it. And what happens? He's getting frustrated. His team said to go and push a bit more. And what happened? Valtteri Bottas crashes the car out of the race. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. A little bit like in Baku last year when he was in front. And then his tyres just blew up. And ever since then he wasn't the same. Same thing happened. But I was thinking there's going to be one race. There's going to be one race where Bottas is going to make a big mistake and it might cost him his season. It's like he's not strong up there. He's a bit like Vettel. Vettel makes a few mistakes and his driving just goes to shit. And I think this is the turning point now. Bottas crashed his car lap 57 out of the race, finished with no points, and I think Lewis Hamilton is going to win. He's going to win the championship. I think Bottas is going to struggle because this was his chance. If he would have just finished in the top 3 or 4, he would have been 8 points behind Lewis Hamilton. 8 points. Now there's 40 points between them. You see, he was so close, and now he's done this, made a mistake. His error, not the team's error. He was on the Inters. His error, and now he's crashed the car, finished with no points. And I know Hamilton was loving it. He'd probably say he won't, but he was loving it. So, lap 58, Lewis pits again. 6 times, that's got to be a record. 6 times he pitted. 6 times to try and get as much grip as he can. 3 pits. The last 3 pits he done were all 3 pits, but he pit for the 6th time. Lap 58. Lap 62, Gasly. He's another guy who's not going to be there next season. He might not even be there in September. Never mind next season. Lap Gasly. He tries to take over Albon. Doesn't Albon goes on the right hand side. Gasly crashes his car out of the. He didn't crash his car, but ripped the tyre off his car, off his front wheel, out of the race. Finished Gasly all over. Lap 62. But Max Verstappen came in at the front, had the perfect strategy for me. The perfect strategy. He wins the race. And second, Vettel. Yes, Vettel. Well deserved. For me, driver of the day as well. He comes second, and third was Albon. Albon's just had his kid born yesterday, and now he's come third in the Grand Prix. Congratulations to Albon as well. Very good driver. I think he's my pick to go to Red Bull next year. So that's how the races ended. And let's go through the notes. How it ended. The notes, the standings. You had Max Verstappen on third, Sebastian Vettel second, third Daniel Kvyat, fourth Lance Stroll, fifth Carlos Sainz, sixth Alexander Albon, seventh Kimi Räikkönen, eighth Antonio Giovinazzi, eighth Antonio Giovinazzi, ninth Roman Grosjean, 10th Kevin Magnussen, 11th Lewis Hamilton, 12th Robert Kubica, 13th George Russell, 14th Pierre Gasly, DNF. Look how many DNFs there were, man. Jesus, look. DNFs were Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas, Nico Hülkenberg, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, Sergio Perez. 7 DNFs. 7. What a race. Unbelievable. Maybe we won't see a race like this ever again. Not for a long time. But 7 DNFs. That shows what the rain can do. Can throw a spanner in the championship. But in my opinion, still the favourite for me to win the championship with Lewis Hamilton. If he gets his point today after the Alfa Romeo thing, he'll be 40 points. For me, Bottas' head's gonna start sinking. In my opinion, if he doesn't, it's good. But I got a feeling he's gonna start sinking. And again, Toto put more pressure on Valtteri Bottas before the race and said, "These 2 races decide your future at Mercedes." What pressure to put on a guy, right, to try and keep his Mercedes seat before a race. So he had that extra pressure from that as well. So, as the table looks, we have Lewis Hamilton on top, 223 points. Second, Valtteri Bottas, 184. Third place, Max Verstappen, only 20 points, 20 odd points behind Bottas now. He's got 162 points. Fourth place, Sebastian Vettel, 141 points. And fifth place, Charles Leclerc, 120 points. Sixth place, Pierre Gasly, 55 points. Seventh, Carlos Sainz, 48. Eighth, Kimi Räikkönen with 31 points. We have Daniel Kvyat with 27 points. Good points for him today. And Lando Norris with 22 points. He's kind of dropped down because he got a DNF. 11th place, Daniel Ricciardo, 22 points. And 12th, Lance Stroll, 13 points. And Nico Hülkenberg in 13th with 17 points. Magnussen in 14th with 15 points. Alexander Albon, 15 points in 15th place. And 16th place, Sergio Perez, 13 points. And in 17th place, Antonio Giovinazzi with 5 points. And 18th place, Roman Grosjean, 4 points. And in 19th place and 20th place, both with yet to score any points, is Robert Kubica. Now, drivers, and let's have a look. Let's look at the constructors. Well, we don't need to look at it. You know what I mean? It's one of them. So we've got the driving standing there. Teams. Mercedes on top. This is another Paul di Resta. He said that Ferrari still got a chance to win the constructors. Whew. Bold statement, pal. Them tight jeans, man. Sort it out. Mercedes on top, 407 points. Second, Ferrari, 261. Third place in Red Bull, 217. Red Bull's got a chance to catch Ferrari. Don't watch Mercedes, but Red Bull's got a chance to catch Ferrari. 217 points to Ferrari's 261. Fourth place, McLaren, 70 points. Fifth place, Toro Rosso, 42. Sixth place, Renault, 39. Seventh place, Alfa Romeo, 36. 8th place, Racing Point 31. 9th place, Haas with 19 points. And again, Williams yet to score points. Now we're going to go for some interviews. If you watch my review, I usually do a bit of audio. I can't really show you no video because of copyright. But I'm going to show you, listen to some audio. Pierre Gasly, I got the first one saying, an insane, crazy race. Let's play this.
Pierre, no one can deny you weren't trying out there today. You had to give it everything. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off. Talk us through that move on Albon that didn't go quite to plan.
Yeah, I think it was quite insane, crazy race. From inside, we had like everything: wet inters, crashes, safety car, like pit stop within like 2 pit stops in 5 laps. So, I mean, it was so many things happening, and I think got a bit unlucky a couple of times. Didn't go completely our way, but in the end, just disappointed not to be able to finish the race because there were clearly some opportunities.
So, what else have we got? So look, we've got Lance Stroll. He said that the rain spiced things up a bit.
Simply Business.
You buying the round for the strategist this evening?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to review it, though. I think we pitted 5 times, so that wasn't part of the strategy. But, hey, we gave it a go today, and it worked out. I mean, it's never over until it's over.
Well, 4th is an incredible result, but do you think the podium was there? Could you have hung on?
Absolutely, it definitely
nearly
was.
got the podium, to be fair.
I made an error on my 2nd or 3rd push lap on the slick tires.
Podium.
It was still a bit damp in turn 8.
Too good.
And I went wide over the green, and that's when Danny got right up into my gearbox and was able to overtake me down the main straight. So without that error, for sure, looking at our pace in the last 15-20 laps, it was neck and neck from the whole pack. At the end, looking at our pace, we were definitely in contention for the podium, but unfortunately, it slipped away from us today. But all in all, we have to be really happy with 4th. I don't think we saw it coming halfway through the race, but like I said, it's never over until it's over. And yeah, I'd like to see some more wet races in the near future, because it's been a while since we had a wet race, and it definitely spices things up.
It's nice to see us.
It does. So we're gonna go on to another one. Who have we got? Let's go to Bottas. He's saying, I was pushing hard, I lost it. Standard. Straight line.
That's a tough one, I imagine. How do you see the day? Talk me through it. There are no words, really.
Yeah, obviously extreme conditions, very variable, and every lap was different. Sometimes on the slicks, sometimes in the inters.
In my opinion, the season's over.
Yeah, in the end, we were in a reasonable place. I was pushing hard for the podium, and I was told to push more, and so I did.
This one's going to hurt for him.
Is that?
It's got to be so close.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just lost it in turn 1, lost the rear end. I was really pushing hard. So, obviously my mistake.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So, who else we got? Daniel Fiat. An incredible moment in my life. I think he'll go to Red Bull next year, this guy. Replace Gasly, maybe.
Well, what special times you're living through, Mr. Kvyat?
Yes, it's an incredible moment in my life. Obviously, became a father last night, so it's number 1. And then number 2 thing, obviously today the race was incredible. First podium of my second career, I would say. So I'm incredibly happy, but I worked hard to be here in this kind of race. It's not easy, and I managed everything very well. And together with the team, we made right calls. And I think we did a fantastic job, and we fully deserve this podium.
Absolutely, enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah, in the rain, anyone can win. It's about making the right call, like Daniel Kvyat said, and he did it. So what else have we got? We've got Vettel. Let's go with Vettel. Let's go with Max first. Max says very happy with the day, apart from the start.
Max, that was a masterclass. Every time you needed to be on a certain tyre, you were on it. How did you see the race? Talk me through it.
Yeah, well, of course, the start was not that amazing, but then, yeah, we just stayed very focused, followed the two Mercedes cars around. I just couldn't really get closer because of the dirty air. And yeah, from there onwards, I think we always made the right choice on tyre, even though when we went the first time on slick tyres, I think mine were a bit hard, so I had a few moments, and yeah, of course I had my 360, but luckily we could just continue. And then we had to go back on the inters, and as soon as I was ahead of the Mercedes cars, then you could really see the pace I had, because I was just pulling away quite comfortably with saving tyres. So yeah, today was very good, and we stayed mostly out of trouble. So yeah, of course very happy to win here.
Is that a reflection of the performance of the car as well as your comfortable situation in the wet like that?
It's getting better. I mean, we are not at the same level yet, but of course in these tricky conditions sometimes you can get a bit more out of yourself.
There you go. Strategy done it, and the fact that they made the right calls at the right time. Not like Paul di Resta says that he's coming out and saying that Ferrari could win this championship still. You should have saw him, man. He was like really, really excited. He was like a 4-year-old getting a present for Christmas. Him and that Mark, Simon Lazenby. He's the biggest Ferrari mark. And Paul di Resta, the biggest mark for Max Verstappen. Always negative towards Lewis Hamilton, always. But it's okay. Hungary's next. So, let's go for Vettel. Quite a race. I enjoyed it.
What a race. So much to deal with. You had all the places to make up, the conditions as well. How did you see the race? And did you ever expect to be on the second step of the podium?
To be honest, in these kind of races, you can't expect anything until the last couple of laps. So, yeah, I mean, I think I was like P8 or P10, 11 when the second last safety car came out or went in. In, out, in, and yeah, it was crazy. So many decisions to make. Obviously, some were right, some were maybe not ideal in terms of timing. We lost a bit, but overall we stayed on track and we stayed in the race. And in mixed conditions, when it was starting to dry with the slicks, I really felt comfortable, and that's, I think, where we made up the most ground. With intermediates, it was a bit lazy to start, so it took a while, but yeah, quite a race. I enjoyed it.
Happy for Vettel. Well deserved, especially what happened last season. One more. Let's have Hamilton. See what he's got to say. He says, a terrible, disastrous race. This will be interesting.
The boneless banquet for one. Only available at KFC. Now...
Is a human after all.
There we go.
Well, newsflash, Lewis Hamilton is a human after all.
Yeah, the illness brought me back to being a human.
Everything was thrown at you today. Was it just the weather playing a part or other factors?
I don't know. It's a combination of a lot of things, but ultimately a really terrible, disastrous day. It had the potential for that when it started to rain. I thought I had it under control, and then it was really risky putting us out on slicks. And then after that, just went to pot.
You have a lovely habit of bouncing back stronger from these things.
Yeah,
so
always.
Does that mean a win in Hungary is on the cards?
I don't know. I've got to get healthy again. That's the biggest thing. Performing this weekend's been one of the hardest. So trying to get myself back in physical fitness, healthy again will be key.
So that's it then. He's saying that he was sick. He was saying he was sick yesterday as well. He did look sick. But on the day, Max Verstappen won the race. Well deserved. Good strategy from Red Bull. Hamilton should come back stronger like he always does. Like I said, get himself healthy. Start spinning off to different countries all the time. Like America, China, Japan, wherever he's going. Get yourself home, get yourself healthy, get yourself ready for Hungary, and get back to business. Now, this is the end of the review. Don't look out for my next reviews coming next week. It's going to be a Hungary qualifying review, then race day review. It's a double one this time. Double week. So we've just had German, and next week is going to be Hungary. So I'm looking forward to the Hungarian Grand Prix. One of Lewis Hamilton's favourite tracks, one of his top 5 tracks. Let's see what happens next week. So this is Solo P1 signing out. How long did I run for? 44 minutes. I don't usually run for 44 minutes. I usually do 30 minutes. So if I've bored you, I'm sorry. But this is Solo P1 signing out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Instagram Solo_P1, YouTube Solo P1, Twitch Solo_P1, and Twitter Solo P1. If you want to start debating me or talking about Twitter, hit me up on Twitter and I'll respond. I'll respond to all my tweets. So this is Solo P1 signing out, and all I can say, the last message is next week Mercedes is coming. Bye.